In the upcoming sequel to Ant-Man, you're going to meet the Wasp. She has a complicated history, and to be clear, the version of the Wasp in this movie is Hope Van Dyne, played by Evangeline Lilly. Now, Hope is a character mostly specific to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The original Wasp was Hope's mother, Janet Van Dyne, and she too appears in Ant-Man and the Wasp, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. Janet Van Dyne and all her waspy ways have a significantly longer history in the comics, appearing originally as far back as 1963. Still, we understand there might be a little catching up to do, and so here is everything you need to know about the Wasp in 2 minutes or less. Janet Van Dyne first appeared in Tales to Astonish number 44, when her not especially interesting father was killed by a not particularly memorable space monster. Janet parlayed her tragic origin story into becoming the Wasp. Using the infamous Pym particle tech built by Hank Pym, he's Ant-Man, Janet gained the power to shrink to a very small size, the ability to fly, and eventually got bracelets with the ability to shoot groovy fire energy stings that stun or kill people. Janet was pretty flirty with Hank despite his many flaws, and she followed him from Tales to Astonish to Avengers number 1, where the pair and Iron Man and Hulk and other familiar faces had to fight Loki. Janet, who was obsessed with branding from day one, suggests they call themselves the Avengers, thereby officially naming one of the most influential super teams of all time. By Avengers number 60, a clearly unstable Hank Pym decided to embrace a more aggressive, demanding version of himself, changing his name to Yellow Jacket and proposing to Janet. The Circus of Crime showed up at their wedding, and Janet was attacked by a giant python, which, as red flags go, rates pretty high, but the pair went to part-time Avengers status and started a life together, which went terribly, in no small part due to the supervillain Egghead controlling Hank's mind. Ultimately, Hank hit Janet during an argument, and she divorced him, returned to the Avengers, and buried herself in her work. And that's where she started to really kick ass. Not only did she take full control of Van Dyne Industries and kickstart a career as a fashion designer, she also became the leader of the Avengers, where her first move was to recruit more women for the team, and she led the Avengers longer than every other leader except Captain America. Her ex-husband's wacky approach to science led to a few major catastrophes, like the one where Ultron got lonely, kidnapped Janet, made himself a girlfriend in a real Bride of Frankenstein situation by imprinting Janet's persona onto the synthezoid Jocasta. She turned out to be a bit too much like Janet and rebelled against her creator. Janet was killed in the Secret Invasion crossover while fighting Skrulls, but you can't keep a good Wasp down. And in Uncanny Avengers, Janet was back and immediately started negotiations for X-Men meets Avengers merchandising. She got into a thing with Havoc and they had a relationship and a daughter, except it was in an alternate future and they lost their child to the machinations of Kang. Most recently, Janet has started mentoring young X-Men, and she's helped new Wasp Nadia Pym, Hank's daughter, get her life in order, all while delivering witticisms like, "That's my secret superpower, I get things done." And time. How fast do Wasp hearts beat? Because I'm there. That was a lot. Anyway, there you have it. There are just some of the reasons the winsome Wasp has been winning over readers for more than 5 decades running. No kidding, let us know your favorite Wasp moments in the comments. And any other characters or stories you're looking for us to try and summarize in 2 minutes. Ones without, like, big words, though.